Aloha, Soul Fam. Welcome to our end of days, and that's DAZE. As always, raw and unedited. I also wanted to give one of my shout outs. I love this greeting, especially when you can't tell, but it's super early morning right now. So, good morning, Neverland, right? If you watched Hook, you know what I'm talking about. So, let's get into it. Talking about that, even referencing that, isn't it funny how things work out like that? I wanted this video to be about context, and I only have a little bit of time, so this is going to be a shorter video, right? Hopefully. So, context is, I think, part of what makes the one absolute so powerful, and that statement so powerful, because given certain contexts, anything can be particularly true. It's just not true in an absolute sense, right? This is why it's so important. This is why the one absolute is so important, um, and why I think it's an idea that's time has come is the best way to put it, in my opinion. So, um, I don't really know where to go from here. I didn't necessarily plan on this, which is also a context where this is just off the cuff. All right, one of the things that I am coming from is a background where I like to plan things. I very much like to plan things. And this is also why I think I put myself in positions where improvisation is extremely important, because that's a lot of life. Being in a flow state is not necessarily, I like to think of it as having a loose plan where it's just like, all right, this is kind of like, this is the direction that I want to go in. What I'm going to deal with and the actions and I'm going to take, or I'm going to figure out on the way, is the best way to put it. uh, and this is also what I mean when I say using the map, but knowing that the map is not reality itself. And so if you've studied things like that, then you already know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, it's just like, let's just say we have a map, right? And there's a river there, and there's some trees in the forest, and then we get to our destination. So while I'm walking this path, it seems fairly accurate. But then there's three or four trees drawn here to represent the forest. But when I get there, it's a lot of trees. All right, there's a lot of freaking trees there. This is part of what I mean, where it's just like the map is a representation of reality, but it is not reality itself. And so that's a big contextual thing to recognize, is that we like, and a lot of religions also do this, where they are maps of reality. And this is also why, is I think this is me and my brother, my blood brother. We've talked about this sometimes, where I know we're considered Homo sapiens, but I would almost we've agreed that we're more like a Homo narrans, where we are humans that tell stories, and we use stories to contextualize the experiences that we have and reality itself. And so we're technically creating maps all the time, and then we share with each other's maps. And this is also my premise, where us getting together and talking and sharing our maps with each other makes a more in-depth uh, overall map, a collective map, if you will. And this is why it's important to be authentic, to express yourself, to all of that, because then we are sharing what is truly in our hearts and our minds with the collective field. And then it's what's important to us ends up manifesting, ends up being shared with other people. This is why authenticity is so important, is it allows us to share what's true. Because a lot of the times, and this is, we're all coming from a different place, and this is also what I mean with context. It's just like, if we're coming from a wounded place, if we're coming from a place that has parasitical programs running in the background, we're not going to be really capable of being authentic, because in that moment we're authentically wounded, we're authentically weak, is the best way to put it. And so there's nothing that we can like. This is why healing, forgiveness work, and for lack of a better word, doing the work. This is why doing the work is so important. And contextually speaking, doing the work doesn't mean that, well, we just have to slog all the time. And this is, and if I do, like those are parasitical programs that I'm talking about. All right. If when we think, oh, just everything's freaking work, just like, no, that's a parasitical program. if we think just like, oh, I should be having fun all the time and everything should just be fun, it's just like, no, that's a parasitical program, because we are creating an absolute statement that is not real. All right. It's like, yes, there will be fun on the way. There will be work on the way, but we can make work fun, and fun can be work too. Geez, for people who have played video games, and I'm one of them. All right. Even to this day, I haven't played video games for probably getting close to 6-7 months now, but and maybe that'll change. I'm just not in a position to do it. I'm still homeless. I'm still going through stuff. So, but regardless, a lot of the video games I played were work. All right, just like you have to plan and strategize, and then do this and do that, and you get rewarded pixels on the screen telling you congratulations, or depending on what game you're playing. Yeah, but it's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. So maybe we can just keep it at there. I know I say that all the time, right? But it's just like, and this is just a cookie cutter. This is just a snapshot of what I'm talking about, because I'll try to frame this as many times as I can. Context is important, and so when we see that context is a living concept, we stop trying. Like, this is what projection is on a lot of different cases, is where we're going through something personally on an internal level, and then we start to see other people going through something as well. And so when people are expressing themselves, essentially, hopefully they're not projecting too much, on us, but we also can't help it. But that's something else for another video. But they're expressing themselves, right? And they're saying it's always this way and blah, 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 blah. That's their context. All right. And so it doesn't have to be everyone's context, even if they're projecting it outward, even if they're saying this is the way the world is. It's just like, no, this is the way the world is for them. And so as someone who's on the path, who's more aware, who's done the work, this is why we don't judge them for having that context. You can, but then you're opening up a can of worms where you're just really showing where you're at, I guess is the best way to put it. Because as someone's gifts unravel, in a good way, as the one absolute is practiced, like this is why I think it's so important. Like, this is why the statement is so important, is because just saying there's only one absolute and there it is, this will help open up the mind and the heart to show things. Because I know I'm jumping around here, but the statement is designed to open up our minds and also solidify our hearts, because on a heart level we realize everything is one. And so what is that one? How do I define this one? This one is absolute. It's everything. It's beyond everything. I think, like, there is no end to it. There's no beginning to it. And so that is why this statement is designed to do this, where it's just like, wow. So the heart feels this, what I call the handshake, where it's just like these hands are connected now. It's just like we are one, and this is this one absolute, and it encompasses everything. And then this statement also challenges the mind, and it shows, because the mind will tend to make absolute statements, especially when we're coming from parasitical programming. And that parasitical programming will say, it's always this way, it's never this way, yada, yada, yada. And that's essentially designed to keep us locked in this duality. All right. And I'm using the words very carefully here. Watch my other videos if you haven't already about some of it, but I'll explain it in a bit, where it's just like, yes, there is polarity. Yes, there is gender. There is this, I can't think of the word at the moment. All right. Forgive me. But there's a difference between polarity and duality. And duality is in direct confrontation to the one absolute. Because it's saying, no, there's more than one absolute. In this case, duality being there's two absolutes, which is a self-invalidating statement. And so it ends up creating in the mind, and then thus the heart, as a feedback measure, that it's at war with itself. All right, you can't do the handshake anymore. I was talking about the chiral handshake. When there is this one absolute, we can we can we can grasp ourselves. All right, we have cohesion, the heart mind cohesion that I've talked about before. Uh, and that when the mind is at war with itself, or at war, which is, there's a lot of layers to this, all right, because the mind technically can't be at war with the heart. There can be a misunderstanding within the mind, within the different hemispheres of the brain, but that is a very different concept than being at war with the heart. The heart just is, just like the mind just is, but they function in a very different way. Just like the feminine energy just is, and it operates in a particular way and has certain behaviors, just like the masculine energy has certain behaviors and operates in a certain way, and that neither side is an absolute. Like this is what I mean. So even though to parasitical programming, just from a trauma based perspective, these apparent absolutes, which are not absolutes, all right, seem to be counterintuitive to each other. But the truth is, when you really look and study this, you cannot have a masculine without a feminine. You cannot have a feminine without a masculine. And this is when this understanding really happens, and there's more openness when we meditate and pray upon the statement, there is only one absolute. This is it. This is it. When this happens, there's this handshake where it's just like, okay, so I'm not going to be 100% masculine all the time, because I can't be, because there's also a feminine aspect of me. Even if I'm in this body, all right, yes, I'm a male. I think it's very important to recognize where we're at, especially on a physical level. That's my opinion. But I recognize, yes, I'm a male body. I will be a male in this body for the rest of my life. Does that mean I have no feminine energy? Absolutely not. And what this also means is that on a deeper level, and I'm ready to do the path alone. I've been through quite a few heartbreak romances, I guess is the best way to say it. But there's someone out there for me. There's a feminine who is a complement to me on a masculine level, and as a soul, as souls, as these two souls that we're talking about, we also have complements to ourselves. All right, so it's just like, yes, there is a feminine complement to my masculine side, and there is a masculine complement to their feminine side. And so hopefully this starts to make a little bit more sense. I'll keep doing what I'm doing. Like I said, context, so important, you guys, so important. And this meaning of context will help us start to understand what the one absolute means. It is so important. It is so important to understand. And so I'm getting better. Thanks for your patience with me. I'm so grateful you're here on the journey with me. This is exciting for me. And I'm about to go to work, so I gotta stop the video, and I'll try to download it as I can before I have to leave. But we'll see. Um, and if you like me, right, give me a like. Like the video, I mean. You can like me otherwise too. And if you want to see more, please subscribe. Helps me motivate. Only got 2 subscribers right now, and I think I know who they are. And so thank you guys for subscribing. And interact with me. Leave something in the comments, you guys. Seriously, questions, insults. I'll take it all at this point, just for fun. Like Saitama, man. I'm a hero just for fun, right? Anyway, we'll leave it at that, you guys. So thank you. Just thank you for being part of this journey with me. And remember that you are enough, all right? More than enough, all right? And that you're part of this one absolute, just like I am, that we're reflections of each other. And anything that I have that you enjoy, this is what I'm trying to share. You can have this, all right? And I'm not giving it to you. I'm just showing you what you're capable of, all right? This is the beauty. This is the beauty of it, you guys. So we'll leave it there. And the context, all right? So everyone's coming from a different place, all right? And that's okay. You're coming from a unique place. I'm coming from a unique place. And when we share this and when we're authentic, everything starts to come together in a real way. So blessings, love you guys so much. Peace out, love within, and catch you on the flip side.